What truly gives life its meaning? Is it the wealth we gather, the achievements we collect, or the legacy of our names? For centuries, philosophers have wrestled with this question, and yet the answer often reveals itself in the simplest of places. In the quiet presence of a child. Because when a child enters our world, life changes its rhythm. Suddenly, meaning is no longer abstract. It is sleeping in the next room. It is learning to walk. It is asking questions we never dared to ask ourselves. And as years pass, we begin to realize our truest measure is not just in what we built, but in who we raised. So the deeper question arises, have I raised my child well? Not just well-fed, not just well-educated, but truly well in heart, in character, in the unseen values that will guide them long after we are gone. Because parenting is not a checklist of duties. It is the slow weaving of meaning into another soul's journey. It is philosophy turned into daily practice. It is where our habits, our silences, and our choices echo, sometimes louder than our words. And so, when we seek to know if life had meaning, we might not need to look at awards or possessions. We might only need to look at how our children carry themselves through the world. And the funny thing is, we often measure parenting by traffic-stopping milestones, college, the wedding, the job. But everything that actually matters happens in tiny, boring moments. The grocery aisle, the apology you did or didn't model, the sentence you said in the car. That's where the real raising happens. So, what is well-raised? Money helps open doors, but it does not raise a strong person. If you raise someone who's emotionally stuck or scared of failure, money won't fix that. Psychology says the real wins are emotional intelligence, resilience, autonomy, and the ability to keep relationships alive even when it's hard. There's a classic parenting line I love from Dr. Benjamin Spock. Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. Keep that in your pocket. Parenting isn't a test with one right answer. Here's a question that can shake any parent to the core. Did I raise my child well? Not, did they get into a good college? Not, do they have a good job? Not even, are they successful? I'm talking about the deeper question. As a parent, did I really prepare them for life? Because parenting isn't something you measure with report cards or salaries. It's measured in the moments nobody claps for. The way your child treats a waiter, the way they handle failure, the way they show up for a friend in pain. And here's the hard truth. Our children's journey doesn't just belong to them. It shapes us. Their growth is a mirror that reflects our values back at us. When they stumble, we ask, did I guide enough? When they shine, we whisper, maybe I did something right. Every step they take out in the world becomes a quiet reminder of the choices we made at home. You see, raising a child well isn't just about giving them a future. It's about defining our own legacy. Long after we're gone, the only thing that truly carries our name isn't the property we bought or the bank balance we left. It's the human being we shaped, their character, their habits, their values, and that realization. It can be overwhelming because you start to notice how much it matters. You wonder if the little things you did, the bedtime stories, the way you handled your own stress, the respect you gave your spouse in front of your child, did all that sink in? Did they learn love, patience, respect, or did they absorb our flaws instead? Did I raise my child well? That's not just a question for parents. It's a mirror that doesn't show grades, jobs, or money. Instead, it reflects values, resilience, love, and the quiet habits we built when nobody was watching. And let me be honest, money alone never defines successful parenting. You could buy them the best school, the latest gadgets, the most comfortable life. But if they never learned empathy, resilience, or respect, then what was really built? Parenting is not a single act. It's a journey of thousands of tiny choices. It starts with us asking ourselves, what habits do I model? What thoughts do I avoid? And what values do I live by in front of my child? Because children don't grow up by what we say. They grow up by what we show. And every small incident, every conflict, every resolution leaves a fingerprint on their psychology. Parenting is not about giving rituals, it's about giving a compass. A child raised well can tell you why they believe in kindness, not just that they were told to be kind. True success is when they help a friend not for approval, but because it's the right thing to do. Life doesn't reward starters, it rewards finishers. A parent succeeds not when the child begins everything with excitement, but when they have the discipline to finish what they started, whether it's a school project, a responsibility at work, or even paying a bill on time. One of the silent killers of maturity is leaving everything unfinished. Conversations, responsibilities, conflicts. Parenting means teaching closure, that even if you're upset, you learn to finish the conversation with "here's what I feel, here's what we can do." That habit saves them in work, in marriage, in life. It's tempting to laugh off mistakes, to go casual when things get tough. But children learn seriousness from us. When we take commitments seriously, whether it's returning borrowed money or showing up on time, they learn that responsibility is not optional. The true test: can they feel someone else's pain? When they pause mid-conversation to listen, when they notice someone's silent hurt. That's when you know you raised not just a professional, but a human. Mutual respect is not taught by strict rules. It is lived in the everyday interactions between parent and child. Respect is when you listen to their small stories with the same seriousness you give your own problems. It's when you correct them without belittling them. And it's when you admit your own mistakes. Because a child who sees you say, "I was wrong and I'm sorry," learns that dignity and humility can exist together. I remember a mother telling me once that she shouted at her daughter unfairly during a stressful evening. Instead of brushing it off, she sat down with her daughter and apologized. Days later, the daughter had a fight with her friend, and instead of ignoring it, she went back and said, "I'm sorry, I was upset. Can we fix this?" That's the echo of parenting. Respect passed down not by command, but by example. A child raised with this balance grows into an adult who knows when to bend and when to stand tall, firm in their boundaries, gentle in their heart. Maintaining relationships in difficulty. Every child can love when things are easy. The real test: do they stay when it's messy? Do they check in on the friend who drifted away? Do they repair bonds instead of abandoning them? Because relationships, not trophies, are the legacy of good parenting. You know, I once met a father who shared something that stayed with me. His teenage son had stopped talking to him after a huge fight. Weeks of silence in the house. The easy thing: to let the silence win, to say he'll come around. But this father didn't. Every evening he left a small note on his son's desk. Not lectures, not guilt, just lines like, "I'm here if you're ready," or I love you even when I'm angry. For almost a month, no reply. But then one night, the boy quietly slipped a note back. Can we talk? That moment, not the fight, not the silence, but the willingness to keep reaching out, to maintain the relationship even when it was messy. That's what parenting really is. It's not perfection, it's persistence. It's showing them love is not conditional, even when the relationship feels fragile. Here's the bottom line. Parents are not perfect, and that's fine. You don't have to be right all the time. You just have to be repairable most of the time. If your child feels safe to come back, share, and be messy with you, you did a lot right. If they don't yet, you can start rebuilding with small, consistent things.